it's Kendall back at it again with part 2 of my interviews with moms in quarantine. If you missed part 1, make sure to click up here and check it out so you can get to know a little bit more about my friends and my family. I hope that you enjoyed watching the first half of our discussions and that you were able to relate to them and to make the connections between cultures. Just notice that we are all going through the same things, even though none of us have been through this before. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Let me know what you think about our interviews. If you think of any other topics that we could have talked about, leave me a comment below. It is my hope that you feel my heart in this project, that the intentions for this is to bring us together and to unify us in this experience and to learn from each other. No matter what country or culture you come from, what you have to say matters, and we can all relate to each other and learn something from each other. Thank you so much for being here and for watching it, and I hope that you enjoy.
Okay, so how much does worry actually help? I know you said a little bit too. You guys have a rotating schedule. What other responsibilities have you delegated to him?
So, he's been so good. Actually, I don't know how I would have coped through this time, if he wasn't as good as this 50-50 vibe as he has become.
Yeah.
So it's almost like you don't have to ask anymore. It's just kind of gets done. He can tell if I'm feeling a bit frazzled because I've got an assignment due, or I'm studying for an exam, or I've got work that I need to submit or something like that. And, the kids are going crazy or whatever, he'll quietly take them outside or, into their play area or something like that to do. We do washing together, we do cooking together. Wherever anybody kind of struggles, the other one picks up type of thing, which makes this whole situation a lot easier to handle.
Right. That's really good. Do you guys get one-on-one time with each other?
Yeah, I mean, mostly at night. I try at least, 1 or 2 nights a week to spend with him. It's a busy time for me at the moment because I'm studying for exams. Mm-hmm. So most nights of the week I spend, upstairs in the room here doing work, and he'll, spend the time downstairs watching TV or something like that. But then I try and stay up until he comes up to bed, even if it just means, 5 minutes of chatting and stuff before we fall asleep. But I think enough. Yeah.
How do you guys get groceries? So how is the situation there with going shopping and all of that?
Yeah, so we've been taking turns doing that as well, both for our own sanity of just being able to get out of the house. I thought I'd forgotten how to drive at one point because I hadn't left the house in so long. But it's just nice to be out in your car, doing normal stuff for once, even though the experience isn't normal. At least the drive to the shop is the most normal thing that you do. So we try and take turns doing that, and so he'll do one shop, and then we try and shop so that we're covered for at least 3 or 4 days where we don't have to leave the house again. And then after those 3 or 4 days, I will go and do a shop. So
what about cooking? So I know over there for a long period of time there were no restaurants open. Over here, I was lucky enough, if I don't feel like cooking, just order once a week or something if I'm tired. So what has that experience been for you?
Yeah, so it's funny because it's brought out this whole creative side of everything. So because we couldn't, all restaurants were closed, no takeouts, no deliveries, no nothing, for I think it was about 5 out of the 6 weeks. Just last week or the week before that, they've now opened up restaurants and stuff where you've been able to get takeout, but before that, nothing. And so, you know, if you felt like a pizza or a burger or something like that, you had to make it yourself. And so, you know, we managed to get creative, and YouTube being your best friend, or we actually have a friend that's a chef in the UK who did online cooking lessons with us, and so we learned how to make our own pizza dough. And so it's gotten to a point where we're like, actually, we're never ordering pizza again. This is how I do it from now onwards, because it's such a fun process. Like, who knew? But it's such a fun process. You have the time, so you know, what's the point? But now that the restaurants are open, there's just some things that you are not capable of making on your own, like the restaurants do. So we've had a couple of sneaky takeouts over the last week or so. But for the most part, yeah, it's taught us to be creative and to do things, which has turned out to be fun, actually.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's amazing. What's the most like basic meal, like cereal or like peanut butter sandwiches? The most, if you just
peanut butter sandwich.
Yeah,
Definitely the most basic peanut butter sandwich, or like a sandwich with grated cheese, and then it's like some cut up fruit, some cut up cucumber, some cut up carrots. Eat.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. How much does your husband? He's working.
Well,
yeah.
I'm sure we would all love for our husbands to help a little more, and I fall into that category. But he is working from home. And he works for DCF, so it's very strict. So he's on the computer from 8 to 5 unless he's on his lunch break, and we cannot go in the room or bother him because he does food stamps and Medicaid, so he has people's private information. So it is difficult for him to help. The big thing that he does is bath time with the girls, and you know, usually gets their dinner ready. So, but I wish he could help a little more with household chores and homeschooling. He has not done any homeschooling.
Okay. Wow, that's crazy that he is basically like has to be locked away.
Yes, it's hard.
You did kind of mention how you get groceries, so you and your son will usually go shopping?
Yes. Yeah, I do all the shopping pretty much. I try to go every couple of weeks and do a major shopping, but some items are hard to find, so we do have to make sporadic trips here and there. Where I live is a rural area on the outskirts of town, so there's only one small little like country store. So I can get little things that I've forgotten there, but to get the major stuff I only go maybe 2 weeks because I do have to drive a ways to go in town and do it.
Oh, how long is the drive?
Well, the drive's only like 30 minutes. It's not too bad, but 30 minutes there, 30 minutes back, it takes an hour.
And then an hour too with like shopping usually.
Yeah.
That's wow. What are some of your go-to recipes?
I would say like one of my family favorites is meatloaf and mashed potatoes. Everybody loves my mashed potatoes.
Okay.
So that's a big one.
Recipe then.
Yes. I put sour cream in mine. That's my secret. I put a little sour cream in it.
Okay. That sounds good. I have to try that. What is the most, so meatloaf and potatoes is kind of sort of elaborate. What's the most like basic minimum meal that you serve?
Oh my gosh. We have had frozen pizza a couple of times. I won't even deny it. Some days I'm just done and it's frozen pizza or frozen lasagna.
Tell me about it. 1 or 2 nights in a row.
Yes.
What about the most elaborate meal? Like where?
I made like a full Thanksgiving meal one night. I was just bored and I'm like, okay, I had a turkey. So I baked a turkey. I did green bean casserole and dressing. And so it was good. It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay. The next question was how much does your partner help and what does he do since he's working?
So during the day, it's mostly me. He will pop in and out for lunch.
if he hears them being naughty, then he will nip his head around and be like, stop being rude to your mom, or what are you guys doing?
Yeah.
Like, why are you shouting at each other? Like, why can we not talk softly? So he'll pop in here and there. It's mostly like in the evenings, he does the whole bath routine.
Okay.
So he puts them in the bath, he gets them washed, gets them dressed, and then that just gives me time to like wind down and make dinner because I love to cook.
Okay.
I think one of the things that's going to happen after this lockdown is we're all going to become Michelin star chefs.
Yeah. Everybody that I've talked to is saying the same thing.
I'm telling you, we are cooking gourmet meals. Gourmet meals. We've got all the time in the world.
Do you ever get one-on-one time, like with your husband?
Night. So kids are in bath, like they're in the bath at 6. We eat at 6:30. 7 dinner's done. And like from 8 o'clock onwards, it's me and him.
Okay.
The kids are not allowed out their rooms. I don't care what's wrong with you unless you are physically dying.
Yeah.
You stay in your room. You are only allowed to exit your room to go to the toilet.
Right.
But just you stay there. I don't need to see you. I love you so much.
Yes.
That's my time. We watch the news together. We start watching our series or whatever together. Or sometimes he goes off and he plays games with his friends, and I can sit and like watch my stuff. So I'm very, very strict when it comes to the bedtime bath routine. Like,
Oh, you talked about this a little bit, but how do you guys get groceries?
okay, so I am the one that goes out because I'm the least compromised immune system on the property. Because my husband, he's actually got blood clotting problems. So
Okay.
he's like on chronic meds to keep his blood thin. So obviously any underlying funky conditions, like you mustn't go out at all.
Right.
And so him, and obviously my parents are over 60, so they don't go out. So I basically once a week I go, I get my mom's list, I get my list, and I just make sure that I am at the store like 5 minutes before it opens.
Okay.
There's no queue. Yeah, so I go to the store, and I do find that it's been, as a mom, having to worry and take care of everyone,
Yeah.
it is a way for me to breathe.
Okay.
So it is also like a stress relief because it's me on my own,
Yeah.
and I'm not going to rush it. It's not a process I'm going to rush.
Yeah.
I take my time.
Yeah.
Walk down each aisle. I must confess though, like after the first 3-4 weeks of lockdown, my cousin was like, I can't do this, I need to see you. So I was like, okay, we'll go shopping the same day. So we arranged to meet each other at Cavendish. I can't go to her house and we can't have tea together or go to a restaurant where everything's closed. But so we both met at Cavendish, and then like I get to Cavendish, I'm like, where? She's like, no, I'm in Woolworths by the fruit and veg section. I'm like, I'm going to see you. And then, you know, we just walked like a meter away from each other. Hi, how are you?
Yeah, you had to get sneaky. That's hilarious.
Oh, it was so funny.
What are your go-to recipes?
Yeah, we love pasta as a family. Also, I like to make anything that I can hide veg in.
Okay.
So some nights I will actually like make 2 meals because myself and my husband like spicy, and the kids are obviously kids.
Right.
So for them, they eat a lot of like spaghetti bolognese, and then I take the mince, I put mixed veg into it.
Okay.
So they're getting their green beans and their carrots and their kernels in the mince. Or I make lasagna and I throw veg in the lasagna. Like I throw veg in everything. Or I make like creamy chicken pasta with broccoli and mushrooms and some nice pasta for them. So my go-to meals are meals that's with pasta, and it's like one pot.
Okay.
Unless it's lasagna, it's like everything that I make is one pot. Or it's one dish, and I put my chicken in, and then I put my veg and everything, put the lid on in the oven. I don't want to see you till dinner, and I do some rice on the stove, done.
Okay.
But I don't have time for like this little anything. No.
What would you say is the most like basic, like if you're just tired and you don't feel like cooking, What's the most?
Oh no, always. So we always have viennas, and we always have hot dog buns,
Okay.
and we always have burger buns, and we always have burger patties in the house.
Okay.
So if I don't feel like cooking, I can just throw like 4 burgers under the grill, make some French fries on the side that comes out the packet, pop it in oil, make that, strain it, and then we've got a burger. But so literally like hot dogs and burgers, and for Zara, Maggie 2-minute noodles.
Okay.
Yeah, that instant noodles. My son doesn't like the instant noodles for some reason.
What is the most elaborate thing that you've made?
It would definitely be the lasagna, because I've actually fine-tuned the lasagna during lockdown.
So how much does your husband help with the kids?
Wow. If I could say 100%, I would say 100%. He's actually very helpful. Like I told him I had a meeting by 4. He didn't really know what meeting I had, but I just told him I had an interview meeting, and so we had to like hurry up and everything. So yes, he's very helpful. Very, very helpful.
That's awesome. Do you guys ever get one-on-one time with each other?
Yeah, we do, but now I think it's all 4 of us in the relationship.
Do you ever have time for yourself? Like if he will take them and you're close the door?
Yeah, once in a while.
What do you like to do?
I like to write.
Oh, okay. What do you write?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I just write anything that comes to my head, anything.
Okay. Is it like journaling, or you like stories, or poems?
I was actually writing, I have like 2 books that I've not released, but I just like writing. So once they come, once the inspiration comes, I just write like that.
That's awesome. That's amazing. How do you guys get groceries?
We go out normally, like once a week.
You go together or you trade?
No, separately.
Okay.
Separately, yeah.
So have you tried any like new recipes, or you have like a consistent menu?
Oh, okay. So recently I've become like a cook 24/7, because in the morning I have to make bread. We don't buy bread anymore from the shops. So like it's like every day. I'm actually tired, but I think I'm enjoying it because they like it. Oh, mommy's bread. So it's now like, okay, it's part of me. Oh, I'm happy now. So yeah.
All right. Can you describe your worst day in quarantine?
Yeah, my worst day was probably like where we kind of let things get out of control in terms of like everything, like nothing I felt I was on top of. So, the washing had piled up to a ridiculous height. It was the same, when everything happens at once. It was the same day when, Zara had decided she'd had enough of this lockdown business, and Adam was acting up because he's teething, and it was just all going pear-shaped.
Yeah.
And I think what stemmed from that was almost the best day, because we had then decided that this routine that we had worked out was great for a while, but then it overpowered everything, and it almost became too routine-like, and so there was hardly any room for spontaneity and that sort of thing. And then we just kind of decided to scrap routine, and we were like, we're gonna have a camp out in the backyard. We're not going to do any schoolwork. We can do whatever you want to do. We can eat whatever you want to eat. And the kids had an absolute ball. And we ended up kind of just breathing a sigh of relief, because all the routine was almost like more pressure than anything else. It was trying to keep everything ticking. And at some point, you're going to drop a ball, Yeah. And so those couple of days just allowed us to be whatever, and so we were just like, whatever. Yeah.
Awesome. That's one thing too. I know I'm struggling with, like, just learning to roll with the punches. Like last week too, I just fighting for Kanye to get his work done. It's every single day, and I just had enough.
Yeah.
Just go do whatever you want. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
What are you most grateful for during this time?
Sure, so much. I'm most grateful for the fact that, we're in a position where we don't really have to worry right now in terms of, finances and that sort of thing. Rory's work that he did before has, allowed us to live quite comfortably. And, the fact that he retired at the end of April couldn't have come at a better time, because it meant then that he was home and solely focused on being with his family and being with his kids and stuff. So it was almost something that he was looking forward to and then was forced into anyway. And so there wasn't any kind of transition there from working to not working. He was looking forward to being at home and spending time with his family anyway. So that was really good. And then the fact that, I had extra responsibilities in terms of online teaching, and which was clashing with my studies, and then being at home with the kids as well, meant that he could take a lot of that pressure off because he didn't have to work. So I'm grateful for the fact that there's only one of us actually needing to work throughout the day. I can't imagine what it would be like with both of us having deadlines or meetings or whatever during the day with these two kids running around, behind the door. So I'm extremely grateful for that.
So besides trying to make pizza, have you tried anything new since you've been quarantined?
A few things. So I've taken up knitting, which is something completely against my character. But I've kind of just decided that I would give anything a shot. I mean, it's literally like you're at a point where there's no excuse anymore because you have all the time in the world, so why not? I knitted myself the most beautiful, chunky scarf.
Wow.
Going into winter now, right? So knitted myself the most beautiful chunky scarf. I've now got inspiration to knit both my children blankets, which I need to keep for their children's children. So hopefully that'll be passed down the generations and stuff. I've done that. I've done, like most people, a lot of baking, trying out new things, made a carrot cake, banana loaf, like the rest of the country. The pizza. We're planning on experimenting, making a beef Wellington, which I've never made before. Which I've never eaten a beef Wellington. So we're experimenting with that. And then we've just been extremely kind of creative and experimental with what we've been choosing to eat, and that's just because we've had the time to now make the stuff or think of doing. I mean, in a normal business day or work day or whatever, you're not thinking creatively about what you can make for dinner. Do you know what I mean? You just kind of fall back onto all the stuff that you already know how to make. You've got all the ingredients in your house. You're not going out to the shops especially to get the stuff that you need for a specific recipe. You know what I mean?
Right, yes.
So that's given us the time to do stuff like that, which is cool.
What is the first thing you want to do post-quarantine?
See my family, and just be alone for a second. Rory and I have spoken about just 2 nights. That's all we're required, to just go away somewhere, just the two of us. and spend a little alone time together, ship the kids off to the grandparents for a couple of days, because they haven't seen them in forever as well. So ship them off there for a little bit and then just, spend like 2 nights maximum together, just the 2 of us. That's what I'm looking forward to the most.
Okay, can you describe your worst day since being self-quarantined?
Whew. Okay. Here recently, like within the last week, there was a day where the kids were just crazy. They just, I don't know, had so much energy, jumping off of everything, screaming, going crazy. Nobody wanted to do their schoolwork. I felt like I had no help. They were spilling things constantly. I don't know how many drinks we've had spilled that day. And of course, this is the day I'm like trying to sweep mop. So that was a rough day. It was definitely a rough day to get through. And I was exhausted by the end of the day.
Wow, I can imagine. And what would be your best day that you've had?
So I wouldn't have like one specific best day. I really look forward to the weekends because we can just kind of slow down, spend time, snuggling or baking a cake together, playing outside, going for a walk. One weekend we all went for a walk in our neighborhood, and my kids have a little Power Wheels, and I let them drive it up and down the street. And my son even ended up getting in it and driving it. I'll have to send you a picture. It's hilarious. So that was fun. And then also I'm part of this new group here in Panama called the Magic Fairies, and you go in and you put your address and people are delivering like secret gifts based on your life. And I got a really nice gift one day left on my fence. It was a bottle of wine and some candles and face masks, and that made for a really nice day.
Wow, that's awesome. Is it a group more to like moms?
Yes, it is. It actually is. I mean, they do, my bag actually had some popsicles and stuff in it for the kids and some candy.
Wow,
so
that is so sweet.
It is. It's awesome to see people going out and doing something nice, So we're going to try, it's called sprinkling. We're going to try to sprinkle some people this weekend, hopefully.
Okay, that is so cool. I haven't heard of that before.
Yeah, it's awesome.
What are you most grateful for during this period?
I do love the chance we had to slow down. Like I had time to work with my daughter one-on-one. She wasn't doing the preschool I feel like she was in wasn't necessarily like doing great with her. So getting her caught up and correcting her pencil grip and, taking my son driving and, just having that extra time with him, he's like opened up and we've built a better relationship. And that's hard with teenagers. And I was a young mother with him also. Right. And then who doesn't love PJs all day? I'm loving leggings and I'm loving the PJs, although I do have on jeans today.
Okay, a high five for that one. Have you tried anything new, like a new hobby or anything like that?
I have watched like some hair tutorials and makeup tutorials. I did try like a few new like updos with my hair. And then I have tried some new recipes that I don't think I would have tried if I wasn't home just because of time restraints. I made gumbo. And that was a lot of fun, yes.
What is the first thing that you want to do post-quarantine?
Definitely go to a Mexican restaurant, have chips, queso, and margaritas. Crazy. Yeah.
What do you miss most from non-quarantine life, from our regular schedules?
I miss working. I miss having a set schedule and being able to go to work and see my students. I miss the students. We didn't get closure, and I just miss hugging them. That's the biggest thing for me. I have always been a worker, and I miss it. I miss that more than going to the playground or going out to eat. We've made do with ways to stay entertained here. So I would say the biggest thing is work and my students.
Wow. Okay. All right. Can you describe your worst day in quarantine?
Monday, when I found out that I didn't have a job anymore.
Yeah. Okay.
That was my worst day in this lockdown. Yeah. I mean, I've had bad days where I'm just like, really, why did we decide to have children? Why? Yeah. So no, I haven't had in terms of like having to be at home, not having my freedom, being with my kids every day, I haven't had a really bad day.
What would you say would be the best day that you've had?
So the best day we had was Zara's birthday.
Oh, okay.
So she turned 6 on the 17th of April. So it was like, it was about 20 days into our lockdown. But it was really nice. Like, she helped make her cake and decorate it. And so that was a lovely day for us.
Have you tried or done anything new since you've been in quarantine?
Being a teacher.
Yeah, uh-huh.
I can't. That's why I send my children to school, Kendall, because I don't have that personality.
Yeah.
I can't nurture and love and have patience with my kids when it comes to education. Like, I flip. I'm like, why don't you know that, man?
Yeah.
The same thing. Why? We just did it. Yes. Why don't you know this? What's going on? You know? So I think just like by God's grace and just saying, Lord, I need patience. You just need to, seriously, just give me patience.
What is the first thing you want to do post-quarantine?
I want to go down to the beach and put my feet in the sand.
Mm-hmm.
But like with like a glass of wine, man.
Yeah. What do you miss most from non-quarantine life?
I do miss my 2 cousins. So I've got 2 very good cousins who live practically, like literally 2-minute drive away from me.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, we see them like 3-4 nights a week. Like, they've got keys to my house and a remote.
Yeah.
So we've just missed that. We have a lot of like social gatherings here on weekends. The kids have friends over. So we just miss, like, you know, when it's taken away from you and you don't have a choice. It's not like we like barbecuing and braaiing and having parties every weekend, but at least we've got the choice whether or not we want to do it. And that I miss taking the kids with me to the mall, taking them to like play places where I can sit with a cup of coffee and it's a safe environment and they can go and get all of that motor coordination and climbing and getting their energy out. I just miss like that physical contact. Because I mean, to keep saying we've all been communicating via Zoom meetings. So it's not like I'm missing people because I'm seeing them. I'm talking to them every day on the phone. I'm hearing their voice. I'm seeing their faces. But for me, it's like that. It's that physical.
Yeah. Can you describe your worst day in quarantine?
I don't know, but I'm sure there was one time I was just in bed, like I was like, I'm not doing anything today. Nothing is going to happen.
Yeah.
And they survived.
Yeah. They managed.
Yeah.
Can you think of the best day that you've had?
Okay, now we have like more family times, like stories, games, and we talk. So yeah.
Have you tried, besides baking bread, have you tried any new skills?
So okay, I actually brought out my sewing machine to start making. I was trying to make masks. Even though it didn't come out nice, but at least I'm getting there.
That's good. That's awesome. What is the first thing you want to do post-quarantine?
I need to get my nails done. Oh gosh, see, it's horrible. I had to cut them. Like, I feel so... Yeah, I need to go to the salon, like, seriously. And
what do you miss most from life before this quarantine?
I miss the restaurant. Oh my gosh, I miss going out.
What are you most grateful for during this time?
Togetherness.
Yes. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Last question. What is your number one tip for survival during quarantine?
Yeah, I think the only thing that has kept me sane during this quarantine is, and it's very difficult for me to do because I'm a bit of a control freak. I'm a bit of a kind of stickler for routine and having things go according to plan and whatever. But the one thing that has kept me sane is to learn, as you said, to just roll with the punches and go with the flow. Because if you buck against, there's only so much fighting you can do. There's only so much resisting you can take. And at some point, you just got to go, you know what? It's okay. You know, if like Zara has an extra 3 hours of screen time today, it really is not going to kill her. If she does not get to her schoolwork on any particular day, it is not going to kill her. If you don't get to, that load of washing or something, if, you're not making the most amazing meal tonight, with all 5 food groups in them or whatever, nobody's going to die. Because that's how, the pressure of feeling like you now have all the time in the world to do the perfect job. Because in my mind, that was the reason why it wasn't been done perfectly before, was because, I had other stuff to take care of. I was at work or, whatever. And now all of those things have fallen away, and now you feel like there should be no reason why you're not doing it perfectly now. But actually, there's a million other reasons why you're not doing it perfectly. So, go with the flow. Roll with the punches. Don't be too hard on yourself or anybody else in the family for that matter. Just do your best and let them do their best. And as long as they are happy and smiling, and as long as you are happy and smiling, everything will be okay.
Yes, that's beautiful. Thank you, Ray. That's so good. All right. And then the last question I have, what is your number one survival tip for quarantine?
So my biggest thing has been not putting expectations that are too high to achieve. Like, if it doesn't happen, let it go. Tomorrow's another day. We're all in this together. And don't beat yourself up. Don't compare yourself to other people. You are doing what's best for you and your family. I hear so many parents, I can't do this. It's hard. And that's okay. It is hard. We've never done this together. And then the other thing is just self-care. Like, if you need to take a break, you go take a bath or go do a face mask. Like, take that time for yourself, even if it's just 10 minutes, to not get overwhelmed. I think that's so important, because we don't want our children to feel like a burden in all of this. And sometimes that's just taking a break.
Yeah, that is awesome advice. Okay, my last question is, what is your number one tip for surviving quarantine with kids?
With kids, I think you really have to just understand and evaluate your own levels as being a person. Like, what can you and can you not physically take on? And do not set a massively high expectation of yourself.
Yeah.
Do not compare yourself as a mother to other people. We mustn't be hard on ourselves. Like, none of us have experienced this before. The world hasn't gone through this before. But my advice is just, especially as a mom, just don't be hard on yourself.
And okay, last question. What is your number one tip for surviving quarantine with kids?
Patience. I'll always say patience.
Yeah.
The thing is, they are frustrated staying indoors. We are also frustrated. We can't put the blame. It's not their fault. It's not our fault either. So we have to survive. Patience. Because they will drive you mad. They will drive you mad. They will drive you crazy. But patience. Just use your tongue to count your teeth and you'll be fine.
Wow, what excellent advice. I hope that you found value in this video. Thank you so much to Ray, Nicole, Nadine, and Sasha for participating. Please consider liking and subscribing to my channel. See you next time.